Been a very good season for the Turkey Valley girls track program, and they're in a position to do some big things this weekend at the state girls track meet down in Des Moines. Dalton Hackman is the head coach of the Turkey Valley girls. And Coach, what has made this a special group to this point in the season?
Well, I'll tell you what, we always are working hard. Let's put it that way. I mean, day in and day out, these kids show up and they want to be here. Late, I give them a workout, and half the time it seems like they want to do a little bit extra at the end anyway. I got a couple of them asking if they can go for a little bit longer run or whatnot. Yeah, these girls, they want to be here, they want to work, and it's paid off so far. We're sitting pretty good in a couple relays right now and an open event as well, and we'll see what happens here in the next week.
And I know you had a pretty good state track qualifier down at Edco against a lot of teams that provided you some great competition, facing some state caliber competition in many of those events. How does that help prepare you for this weekend in Des Moines?
Hey, it's perfect, because in order to run well, you got to run against teams that are good too. It's seeing Key High in that distance medley is actually pretty big for us. They're sitting number 2 right now, I believe, if I remember seeing that correctly. And some, teams like that making us push at the district meet only make us better, because now we know what we can do, and we get down to that state meet here, and I'm ready to see what our girls can handle down there, because the competition's even better. It's a bigger stage, and we got some competitors. I think we'll be pretty good. Right now, we sit about 3 seconds ahead of the competition in the distance med. And like I said, Key High's number 2, and they were at our district. So it'll just get better from here on out. I'm hoping that we can go break our school record one more time while we're down there.
Obviously, Jalissa Blasik has had a very good year. She was 3rd place at the state cross country meet this past fall, and has the top time in the 800, part of that sprint medley and distance medley that you talked about, and has the top time going into this weekend. What makes her click? What makes her so talented?
Well, like I said about, kids who want to practice a little bit more, she would be the one right there. She makes everybody else on the team that much better around her too. I mean, she just wants to go. She's a competitor. I can't hardly even coach her up. She's so natural on her own. She wants to be there. She pushes herself. She's got the heart. I mean, she almost makes it too easy on me, if I'm being honest there. And she's a hell of a kid. It's nice to see her 3 races there, number 1 in class 1A. It doesn't mean a whole lot right now, because everybody else can go faster too, but I like where we sit. At least we have good lanes in the sprint med and distance med. I like that. The idea of that, they're going to run against the best down there. They'll go that much faster because of it. Our 4x8, we haven't really had a shot to see a whole lot of competition. That's been crazy good this year. Like I said in that press release I sent you, we're about 10 seconds ahead of the competition there in the 4x8. Well, that's pretty tough for some of those girls to get around the track and run an 800 without anybody by them. So down at the state meet, I see there's 4 other teams ahead of us. So the time that we're looking to hit to break the school record, I would say we should be sitting right there at number 1 or 2 down at the state meet for the 4x8. And the girls know what they need to hit, and they're going to try their best, and we'll see what happens with that one too. So we're looking at some good events here that Jalissa's in, and some other ones that she's not as well. I mean, we're sitting pretty good in a lot of areas. So
obviously, we've touched on the distance events to this point, but your sprinters have been pretty good this year. Your 4x1, your 4x2 in, Olivia Snyder in the 100. What's made it click for your sprint type events this year?
So a couple of years ago, we were right on the edge. We weren't quite there with the sprinting events. Obviously, our times are significantly better than they were a couple of years back. Picked up a couple of kids here, though. Olivia Snyder coming in. We didn't have a season last year, so I didn't know what to expect out of a couple of our sophomores. And she's been a great addition. I had no idea she'd be able to run 100s nearly this fast, that's for sure. Claire Courtney's also been a heck of an addition to our team. She came in from Southwind, and she's done great things for us. She said she wasn't even in track when she was younger. So, you know, tell you what, when you have a couple kids that can run like this, it makes it a heck of a lot easier on a coach. And all I have to do is just work on the little things with them, handoff, starts, and make sure I put them in the right positions in the relays. That way they can get the most out of it and try to get the time to where it needs to be. Yeah, these girls they're pretty talented group, and our 4x1 had worked hard to get to this point. I wasn't sure what to think after the state or after the district meet. We were only 400ths off from the team that we lost to. We got second down there at Edco, and I figured it would go, but then I started seeing some other times coming in, and I was starting to get a little concerned. And I'm just glad we made it number 22, and we'll see what we can do in that one. I mean, the kids have dropped already a second just in the last week, so I think they could probably do a little bit more again, clean things up a little bit. That adrenaline rush down at the state meet. Who knows what's going to happen there? And our 4x2, we'd been creeping all year. We'd been right there on the edge. I didn't want to get their hopes up, that they'd make it down, because I wasn't quite sure what that time we had. A couple weeks back, we were sitting at a 156, dropped down to a 154. And then we get to the district meet here, and Central had just beat us at conference in the 4x2. And we get down to district, see Central again. Well, our girls, they wanted it obviously a little bit more than Central did, so they went right with them. Ended up hitting that 152 and got first place, so we were guaranteed to go. So I was pretty pumped about that. Yeah, Olivia Snyder's been a heck of a difference for the team. I would have to say that she's obviously one of our better sprinters. Sitting number 8 in the 100 like she is right now, or tied for 8th, I should say. She's number 10, but there's 3 girls with that 13.16 down there in that 100. So yeah, it's going to be quite the state meet for us here. 7 events going. That's the most I've ever had go. It's also only my 3rd year, technically basically only 2nd year, because we didn't actually have a year last year. So we'll see what's in store for us. Our sprinting events, it's kind of nice to see that go. A little adrenaline rush there watching those guys go. So,
well, and you look at this season as a whole, it's obviously been a very successful season to this point for you guys. But with the kids that you get to coach, has there been a little bit just of a sense of appreciation of having a season after having their season taken away from them last year?
Yeah, I would say so. They're all they were quite excited to be here. A good handful of them were, and some of them really found their spot in a couple of relays that maybe had no idea they were going to have a spot here and there. And yeah, it's been awesome to actually have a season. I've had a couple kids that have been quite the surprise, because I didn't know what I was going to get, because I didn't have a season last year. So yeah, it's we're just appreciative that we were able to have it this year, and that we're able to go down to state. And now I see the state just opened it up. Drake is now wide open for everybody to come in, and that'll be awesome. We'll have Turkey usually sends a pretty good crew down. A lot of fans like to travel from our area, so that always helps. The crowd, cheering the crowd always helps for the right team. So.
You walked into my next question. I was going to ask you about that. You answered it beforehand, so well done on that end of things. But also from a time perspective, when it comes to when you will be running at state, you'll be running, in my mind, at pretty much times that you run regular track meets at. Is that something that will make things a little bit more comfortable for you guys?
Yeah, I would say so. It'll cool down maybe a little bit too in the evenings, so we'll be used to that sort of thing. And our sprinters, I don't mind it when it's warm out and they're getting out there in that 70, 80 degree weather. Even a little warmer is fine for them. It loosens up the muscles. They get rolling a little bit better. But, I bet you my 4x8 group won't mind it too much if it's a little, 6 o'clock, if it's a little chillier here on Thursday for them. Yeah, I think it'll be nice in the evenings like that. We're used to it. We don't have to get up early and get in the right mindset. We just go about our day as usual and go down and run our best, hopefully.
All right, Coach, I won't take any more of your time, but congrats on a great season to this point, and hopefully you can make a lot of noise this weekend in Des Moines. We wish you best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. That's the plan. Hoping to come home with a trophy after the weekend.
Dalton Hackman is the head coach of the Turkey Valley girls track team.